5. Friday the 13th, Part 5.
Ah, 5. What stories behold the glory of a Part 5? What was once a more difficult feat becomes more and more common in the horror movie genre. Reaching a Part 5 signifies a captive audience who loves what's for dinner but are craving more.
Bon appetit, bitch!
Here is Thembo Cinema's Top 5 Part 5s in horror. Fair warning that this is just my personal list, and if I've missed your favorite Part 5, by all means go down in the comments and tell me what it is. Also, this will contain some spoilers for these films, just a fair warning. Last but not least, be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you. Let's do this. Number 5. Released in 2011 in 3D, Final Destination 5 returns the series to form, with spectacular set pieces as well as characters who are more fleshed out than the last couple entries. They really seem to stick to why we love the franchise in the first place, and the suspense is at an all-time high. No! Like that gymnastics scene, it makes me squirm every time. And we're on Part 5, so we know that death is coming for these characters and it's inevitable, but it really toys with your expectations about how we get there, and it has a lot of fun doing it. Of course, what makes this film truly memorable is the shocking twist.
It's not your time yet.
In the film's finale, as our survivors board a plane to seemingly happily ever after, surprise, surprise, they're actually on Flight 180.
What's all that about?
I have no idea.
Yes, that flight, / the opening incident to the original film, making this not only a Part 5, but also a prequel to the entire franchise. I mean, the film was already pretty solid up until then, but that finale, that just sealed the deal to make this a memorable and worthy 5th entry.
It's just that I've seen this before. A lucky few survive the disaster, and then one by one, death comes for them all.
Number 4. Released on the horror streaming service Shudder in 2022, VHS 99 continues the VHS anthology, with 5 found footage segments all set in the year 1999 and presented on, well, you guessed it, VHS tapes. Starting off with our first segment called Shredding, we have some fun Hex Girl vibes with a punk rock group back from the dead. Next up, we have Suicide Bid, where a college hazing ritual that involves being trapped in a coffin underground goes as well as you might think. Next up is Ozzy's Dungeon, a horrifically fun take on old Nickelodeon game shows we loved growing up as kids. Think Double Dare or Guts, but horror.
Jesus! We might need a Band-Aid! Oh, for sakes, don't get that on my shoes! Don't get that on my... There you go, you're out!
Then we have The Gawkers, which is almost like that Shannon Elizabeth scene from the first American Pie, but make it horror. And finally, we have our last segment, To Hell and Back. On New Year's Eve 1999, videographers are hired to film a witch ritual, suddenly finding themselves sent to hell.
Oh, Nate! Nate, I can't see!
I found this to be a very strong outing for the VHS franchise, and it just continues to be a great spotlight for very talented and creative directors. Number 3. In 2004, we saw the last theatrical outing of the Child's Play franchise, Seed of Chucky. Fulfilling the promise of the final scene of Bride, we see Chucky and Tiffany become parents.
Leave it on.
Oh, sweetie, there's nothing to be scared of. Your daddy and I'll be right here.
In a meta-leaning Hollywood set plot.
Chucky's broke again! Cut!
And you know, I found this film to be divisive even among die-hard Chucky fans. For many fans, this film just took the humor one step too far, which is understandable.
Aren't you gonna give me a hand here?
As a queer person myself, I love that gay Chucky creator Don Mancini got to helm this one. You have the Chucky fun and scares we all come to expect, along with apparent queer themes and love of queer cinema throughout the film.
Be a good girl. Or boy. Whatever.
I think it's resonated with a lot of queer fans in the years since its release. It's become a really positive aspect of being a Chucky fan.
You know, I have a queer kid. Gender fluid.
I also love that in the finale we see Chucky come to a self-realization, a fulfilling turn for our favorite good guy doll.
I'm one of the most notorious slashers in history, and I don't want to give that up. I am Chucky, the killer doll, and I dig it!
Number 2. Released in 2022 at the height of cinema's legacy sequel craze, Scream, aka Scream 5, aka 5 Cream, manages to be a worthwhile reboot of the series, while also following the original Scooby Gang we all love.
Sid, it's happening again.
What are you talking about?
One element that really works for me is the addition of the character Sam Carpenter and her connection to the franchise's past.
Give me one good reason why I should talk to you.
I'm Billy Loomis's daughter.
How you doing, Sam?
I really enjoy this new cast, especially the freshly crowned Scream Queen, Jenna Ortega. Ghostface is back and as menacing and violent as ever. Now, this is the first Scream without creator Wes Craven in the director's chair, and his presence is missed. Thankfully, the new directing team, the Radio Silence, paid a lot of respect to the franchise's roots, while also taking steps forward, which feels like a very natural direction for the series to go. And it's a hell of a part 5.
Never fuck with the daughter of a serial killer.
And finally, number 1. Spanning over 4 decades with Evil Dead Rise releasing in 2023, I've come to understand that they just have not made a bad Evil Dead film yet.
Mom?
Director Lee Cronin masterfully captures the horror and mania of Sam Raimi's classic. When kids in an apartment building happen upon the Necronomicon, aka the Book of the Dead, all hell breaks loose. As they are joined by their aunt to fend off their now Evil Dead-ridden mother. The original concept of Evil Dead is so strong, and I love the idea of changing up the setting. Opens up a whole new world of possibilities and terror. But besides a strong concept, it's the performances and execution that makes this film the top of the list. Actress Alyssa Sutherland is highly entertaining as the scariest mommy you've seen committed to film in recent memory.
You don't look so good, Mom.
Nothing a big ol' hug and kiss from you won't fix. Open up now.
She is clocked in, along with the rest of the cast. I mean, they're so easy to connect to, and you're really scared for them when the spooky stuff starts happening. In the franchise's tradition, this film was not lacking on the blood and gore, with gallons and gallons of it sprawled throughout the film, and impressive practical effects. So yes, this may be a part 5, but Evil Dead Rise truly stands on its own, as a new modern classic.
Mommy's with the maggots now.
So that's my list. Did I mention any of your favorites? Or did I miss some? Let me know down in the comments. As always, I want to thank you for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe. And stay tuned for more on Thembo Cinema.